One of the hardest battles I faced as a Christian woman in business was learning to break up with the fear of being seen starting small. But the truth is, I don't build confidence by waiting until I'm ready. And God knows that, and He has revealed this to me. He said, Mallory, I love you whatever stage you're on. One of the hardest battles I faced as a Christian woman in business was learning to break up with the fear of being seen starting small. Oh, my Lord. I don't even know how to expand more on this, but I will do my best because I know this is something that most Christian women are faced with, especially women in business. And I get this a lot when I talk to clients of mine, when I talk to, just on consultation calls with women, when I attend conferences, when I attend networking events and just connect with fellow Christian women that are navigating a whole business space. I am telling you, it is hard to look perfect. I thought I had to look perfect before I could launch. I wanted every post, every product, every move to scream, I've arrived, kind of like, but I'm still becoming. One thing I've learned right now, I am still becoming, and I learned to stand on that, and I tell myself that every day, because that thought of you being perfect and wanting to get it all perfectly done, and sometimes you tend to even start to compare yourself with other creators, other business owners, like whatever your field of work is, whether you're trying to influence, you're trying to be like other influencers, like you're just comparing yourself with people. That is not the route to go. Says that is not a route to go. But the truth is, I don't build confidence by waiting until I'm ready. I never did that. I just started. I had a plan and I just started. I started to execute my plans because most times we tend to have a lot of information. We build out a lot of information. You have multiple coaches, whether you're looking at other people's feed to kind of like compare yourself. Confidence don't come by waiting, because you just turn to double all that knowledge and you're not executing. That's you having a lot of knowledge, but then if you're not executing, the applicable part now has to do with wisdom. And that's where I think most of us, we tend to fall short, and instead of start to lack, instead of start to doubt ourselves, and that's us not having faith. And what is faith? Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So I decide to walk in faith. I am still becoming. And my God knows that, and He has revealed this to me. He said, Mallory, I love you wherever you are. I love you whatever stage you're on. I'm going to hold your hands and we're going to go through this together. I've definitely come to realize that you build confidence from showing up when you're still unsure. I'm growing into becoming, and I'm not avoiding it. That is a really good lesson for all of us to pinpoint. So we are growing despite what? And we are becoming. And you cannot avoid that growing part, like growing pains, like growing anything. You cannot avoid that growth part. Like you're like, okay, I planted this pineapple, but I'm afraid that it's not going to turn out ripe. It's not going to be a sweet pineapple. So you know what? Let me just abort the whole plant. What is that? No, You watch the process. You will give that pineapple a chance to grow into that fruit that it needs to grow into, right? Because you want to see the end product. So yes, we all are growing into becoming ourselves, and so we shouldn't avoid the growth process. And the growth process, there's a lot of things in between. That is a whole big topic by itself, the growth process, and not avoiding it. But I have come to realize that, hey, I am not avoiding it. I'm not going around it. No matter how I sound, no matter where I'm starting from a small place, I'm going to start from a small place. I'm going to give from a small place. I'm going to lead from a small place. I'm going to serve from a small place. So I gave myself the permission to be a beginner. And that alone was my breakthrough. Because it is not the perfect version of me that attracts success. It's the honest version of me that attracts success. That consistency, of me showing up, of me providing authenticity, of me having integrity, that consistency is what defines me. The one who shows up even in the chaos. And that is me. One who doesn't have it all together, but I still say yes to my calling. Because I know God has called me. He has called me to become this woman of faith, this woman of God. And I also have this revelation that, I'm a minister wherever I am planted. So I'm reading this book that says Anointed for Business. This is a very good read, and it's by Ed Savasso. Somewhere in this book, it talks about bloom where you're planted. And that really stood out to me. So I have accepted my gift. I've accepted what God has called me to, and He has called me to ministry. That ministry might not necessarily be, or I might not see it right now as me be on the pulpit, like my parents are into ministry and preaching and teaching off the pulpit. That might not be me right now, but where I see myself, because I have a love for the whole business and financial field, my educational background, like everything I do, I just have passion in teaching people about finances, about aligning themselves, about building wealth, and I'm one of those people who believe that a Christian should be obedient of God's word. A Christian should even know more when it comes to savings and preparing for tomorrow, and leaving behind generational wealth, like all that whole beautiful thing we talk about, right? I'm one of those people that believe that, hey, as Christians, we're not called to be poor. We're not called to be the beggars. We're not called to be the wretched ones, the ones who are saying, okay, if you have more, or you plan ahead of time and you are running businesses, or you have, stuff through your hard work, then that means you're not living according to God's way. That's a whole topic for another day, I know. But yes, most Christians believe that, as a Christian, I should be begging. I should be doing the 30 days or 40 days fast and prayer in the church without working, and then miracle just supposed to drop from heaven or drop from somewhere. The manna is going to come like how God provided in Genesis. I should just go in the church and fast and pray, white fast, and all that kind of hold now. Yeah, I don't know most people background when it comes to spirituality, but for most of us who grew up in the church, we have different things that happen in the churches, different churches, to be frank. But yeah, everybody background with church experiences might be unique, but I'm speaking relatively to mine's, and you can't talk about money, you can't, like, certain topics you can't even hit, then you want to sound worldly. I think that's one thing we need to break as Christian women, because it's not money feeds your home, money takes care of your home. You and your spouse, you and your partners should talk about money, especially if you guys are partnering to create a product, to create a service. You should talk about what the proceeds is going to look like, what profit margin is going to look like. You guys should have a very good oversight of these things, okay? The Bible teaches us how to manage money, how to become good stewards of our money. So I'm one of those people on that bandwagon, and because of that, I know I have a gift to teach. I know I have a gift to help Christians, all of us, understand, open our eyes to, just living according to God's word and being an example in this world, not of the world, but in this world we should be an example, because it is not the perfect version of me that attracts success. It is that honest and consistent version of me that attracts everything that I am. So I have said yes to my calling. Hey there, I'm Mallory, your finance and business consultant, and welcome to this channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button, and let's talk Christian girly things over here. I'm going to be providing you everything it is to know the kind of business type for a Christian woman to start up, how a Christian woman can build wealth, how a Christian woman can position herself in this economy, in these our times, so that she is that worthy woman, she is that Proverbs 31 woman that is a resource for her home, that has her home stable, that provides for everyone in her home and make their lives really comfortable. Let's be that woman today, and that is what this channel is about. So welcome over here and hit the subscribe button. I have faith in God. My faith stems from a lot of personal experience with how God has carried me and placed me exactly where I am. So when I say I am growing and becoming that woman that I should be, that minister that I should be, that impact that I should be, and I'm not going to wait any longer to want to start from a big place. I'm going to start from a small place. I am genuinely saying this. I came into the United States as a first generation immigrant mom. I was unsure of how I would make the dream work. You know how we talk about the American dream or whatever, but life as a whole, how I was going to make it work. I started where I was. I had no blueprint. I had just faith and faith in God. Started from there, came over here with a bachelor's degree, started to work in the bank. Then COVID hit. When COVID hit, I was pregnant with my son and giving birth during the global pandemic. That was a huge one. I navigated the fear of sickness, of hospital, limitation, isolation, and then my husband and I were hit with this heartbreaking news. Our only son was born with a major effect. That was it was shaky for the family at that point in time, right? And everything changed for us in a moment. When I say things change, it did, in a really heavy way. But one thing never changed: our faith in God and the way God took us through, and He's still taking us through now. He has been there. So that faith, with surgeries with our son, and we have more to come someday. But yeah, we are still hopeful and we are grateful. That's the word. We are really grateful for where we are, the miracles that God have been showing to us. Like some people go through surgeries with their kids or what, and they don't come out, or they come out with some other different effects. But God has just been faithful along the way, and we are navigating this thing with grateful hearts. I didn't even know if I had the strength to keep building anything, but God, His grace, me and my why, everything, just start to play into something deeper, more than ambition, resilience. God has done His thing. He has pulled us through as a family with just His grace, and we are really grateful. I wasn't building a business to impress anyone, because in the midst of everything else, when we started to build a business in that state and in that time, it wasn't the case. I was building to create a legacy, freedom, and a solution for my family and for other women like you, ambitious moms, especially immigrant mothers who had to put a lot of dreams of themselves on hold just to survive. So sis, I want to tell you this clearly. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You don't need to be polished to be called. You just need to take the next step, and that's it. All right? So that's why I have created the Compliance and Funding Mastermind for women entrepreneurs. It's a safe space where ambitious, faith-driven women like you can come and navigate the legal compliance and funding side of business. You don't have to build alone. So I've navigated those paths already, like every single step you need to take in the whole financial audit so that your business come on top, because it depends on what are your dreams, what are your goals for your business. It shouldn't just be that little side hustle or that little thing, something that you can build that can become sustainable. And standing on faith and having a plan. In Habakkuk, the Bible tells us that we should write a vision and make it plain. That is what this Compliance and Funding Masterminds for Women Entrepreneurs is all about. There's no guessing, no Googling or going alone. You will get access to my proven unlimited legal compliance audit guide for women in business. You'll get funding templates and checklists to help you prepare for grants, for loans, for investor fundings. You will have the legal clarity and accountability and the expert support from someone like myself who's done it and is not afraid to keep doing it and still doing it anyway. Join us today. There are a lot of other women, Christian women, business women who are ambitious, especially if you're a mom, if you're a first generation immigrant mom, or a woman of faith who is ready to build with courage and compliance. Then join us. And you have integrity. Let this be your breakthrough, your bold beginning. All right? Because if God gave you that vision, He will give you the strategy. You must just have to move. That's all you need right now, is that movement.